New alcohol concerns have exploded over Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth's bizarre appearance on TV yesterday, at the White House on Easter. And this has been an issue for a long time. As many of you know, Pete Hegseth promised that he wouldn't drink at all if he were made Secretary of Defense during the confirmation process. We start with his appearance yesterday morning on Fox and Friends, where he was sort of a combination of manic and moving weirdly, and just, again, the sort of thing that gets people asking, is he drinking again?
And get along to go along. And, start doing Meet the Press and going to the Council on Foreign Relations and spending time with all the new cocktail sipping crowd. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because President Trump asked me to bring warfighting back to the Pentagon every single day. Right. That is our focus. And
the day before, Pete Hegseth showed up at the White House with one sideburn, sort of like this prototypical, what do you call it? It's sort of like two on the nose. You watch a movie and there's a character that struggles with alcohol that only shaves half their face. And Pete Hegseth showed up to the White House on Monday with one sideburn, raising concerns. This is not a joke. This is serious. I mean, this is serious enough that Pete Hegseth was asked about it during the confirmation process prior to, not in the confirmation hearings, but in emails, in interviews rather, prior to the confirmation hearings. And he said, no, I will not. I have no issue with alcohol, but I promise I won't drink at all if I become Secretary of Defense. In potentially one of the most consequential Freudian slips we've seen, Fox News' Brian Kilmeade accidentally introduces Pete Hegseth as the former secretary and then corrects him. But of course, this may simply be foreshadowing what we expect any day now.
Here to set the record straight himself, the current Secretary of State, Pete Hegseth, former host right here on Fox and Friends.
That's right. Former Secretary Pete Hegseth. He may indeed be former Secretary of State very soon, as of course NPR is now reporting that the chaos has led Trump to say it's time for him to go, and Trump will publicly say that he stands behind Hegseth until his replacement is announced. And finally, more of this kind of pseudo-manic behavior on Fox and Friends yesterday.
Based in reality.
So, Mr. Secretary, I guess I can conclude this. We know some bizarre situation with Michael Waltz happened with the first time the whole thing with the Signal app came out. You believe this came out, they said it was called Team Huddle, because one of the people who work for you, one of the three who no longer are there, leaked this out as a way to get back at you?
That's right, Brian. When you dismiss people who you believe are leaking classified information, and again, the investigation is ongoing and that will take time, and when the evidence produced, it will go to DOJ, why would it surprise anybody, Brian, if those very same people keep leaking to the very same reporters whatever information they think they can have?
So, case in point, a very unusual communication style for a sober Secretary of Defense. We don't know if the alcohol problem has resurfaced. What we do know is that the performance is a disaster. Numerous leaks and information sent to people who have no business nor clearance nor a reason to be involved receiving a bunch of this information. And every indication is that this guy is on the way out, and that before we know it, we will be hearing that he will resign because he has realized that he is becoming a distraction, not because he did anything wrong. It's all because of the deep state and people going after him. But in order to allow Donald Trump to continue succeeding on a world stage, he has decided to take himself out and stop being a distraction. That is where we are right now. I expect him to go very soon, alcohol or not. This is not the guy you want in charge of the Pentagon, the Department of Defense, or any of the United States of America's foreign dealings. That's for sure. If you've ever dealt with nausea occasionally, more frequently, you might want to check out one of our sponsors, Relief Band, a wearable wristband designed to relieve and maybe even prevent nausea. Many people use it for nausea related to anxiety or migraines or traveling by car, plane, or boat, sort of motion sickness. Easy to use, works quickly, lasts as long as you need, completely drug-free, no side effects. This was originally developed for use in hospital settings, and it works through a process called transdermal neuromodulation accustimulation, which is a lot of words to basically say it sends a pulse to the part of your nervous system involved in regulating nausea. And there's research indicating this can be helpful for nausea from motion sickness, pregnancy, even from certain drug side effects. And there are studies that suggest that combined with medication, it can be very useful for post-surgery nausea. Relief Band's new Premier Plus model provides advanced nausea relief and includes a digital clock, uses smart skin sensing technology to preserve battery life. Relief Band has earned an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. It has over 100,000 satisfied customers online. If nausea is something you deal with, it might be worth seeing if Relief Band can help. Visit reliefband.com and use the code PACMAN for 20% off plus free shipping. The info is in the description.